Hello friends, welcome to FitLegally. My name is Rachel Brenke. I am the head athlete, photographer, lawyer, everything over here at FitLegally, the legal resource for fitness businesses. And we have been bombarded, and I love it. I absolutely love that y'all come to FitLegally as a place to get the information to help protect your fitness business. Whether you are a brick and mortar fitness gym, or you're doing online training, or you're in the wellness field or nutrition coaching, that is what we are here for. If it's connected to athletics, sports, I know I talk a lot about triathlon and running because that's what I do, but we have a lot for like CrossFit style, personal training, any other type of sports related fitness business. That is what we are here for. My little disclaimer before we dig into this is I am an attorney, but I'm not your attorney unless you want me to be. And actually, don't tell my other clients, but my fitness clients are some of my absolute favorite, because not only do I get to help you protect your fitness business so that you can focus on your clients and your family and your own fitness journey and not have to worry about the legal stuff, but then I also get the inside scoop on who's buying who's doing what, and all the new things that are coming on board in the fitness industry. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, one of the top questions that we have had recently, and we've created an entire contract bundle at fitlegally.com for it, but I wanted to walk through, is having a virtual fitness business. So whether you are someone that has had a brick and mortar business and you had to pivot during pandemic, pivot like on Friends, if you had to pivot during pandemic in order to replace your in-person fitness business with online type training, classes, membership, courses, that kind of stuff, or you've always wanted to do virtual, that's what I'm here for. This is I'm here to help you with, right? And the people that I'm really primarily looking to help are those that you are building this from the ground up, right? You may be an affiliate of like CrossFit or Burn Boot Camp or one of those other type of facilities, but for the most part, you are trying to build it your own way and grab your own piece of the entrepreneurship pie, which I absolutely love. Not only am I an attorney, an athlete, but I'm also an MBA. I have multiple businesses, and I'm a mom of 5. And so my advice to you is going to be very quick and to the point after I get through all this little checklist I have for you for getting your virtual business legal. But it's not from a place of me as a lawyer sitting in my ivory tower saying you need to have this, and this, pay me all this money. No, I want you all to have this guideline. This is what FitLegally is for, is to have the guidance so that every time that you go out to do something, you can be focused on your business and getting new clients and making money and living life and maybe your own fitness journey and not having to worry about the legal stuff. Because the reality is, when a legal issue happens, who is really the only ones that win? It's the lawyers, and we don't want that. And you end up spending so much more time, money, and energy when a problem happens, not if. And so this is what we want to look at preventing. We want to ensure that everything is going to be on the up and up. So now, keep in mind, this is primarily for virtual-based businesses, but there are some similarities if you are a brick and mortar business. All right, so let's just dig right in. I've got 4 or 5 different specific categories I want you to think about, and I'm putting them in phased, chronological phase of importance, really. We want to start obviously with any like services type contract. So if you're doing it online, it can either be a live format. You could be doing pre-recorded videos. You could be sketching out training plans, like loading it into Training Peaks or some of those other systems available. Whatever it is that you are distributing your wonderful fitness knowledge and you're guiding an athletes, because if you move your body and you engage in fitness, you're an athlete. We're all athletes, right? And so you want to have a services contract that's going to outline between the two of you, the relationship between you, whether you're a coach or whatever term you identify with, and with the athlete that you are working with. This is going to create the legal relationship, and this is really the cornerstone. And honestly, this document is probably one of the most overlooked ones that I see in the fitness industry, and it blows my mind, right? So many people do think about like release of liability, which we're going to talk about in a second. Then they kind of really stop there. They don't really do much else, and they think that just relying on one little simple release of liability is going to protect them. Well, From a liability standpoint, right? Maybe, but think about it. What services are you providing? You're doing coaching. What medium are you doing it? How much do you want to be paid for it? When do you want to be paid for that? What if the athlete quits paying you for that? What are you going to do? What if there's an issue? We want to outline all of this. So it's going to be like that core services contract, so incredibly important. Again, whether it's going to be live format or you're doing classes, maybe it's membership style, that's still services. We want to boil all of this down in there. And not even just the specifics I talked about, but we want to have legal miscellany, right? If there's a problem, well, I shouldn't even say if, because I've already said it earlier, but when there's a problem, this contract is going to help govern that dispute resolution for you. And this is only in worst case, right? We don't want to utilize this services contract to bang our clients over the head with, to get our athletes in the door and feel like they're beholden to us. We want it to really comfortably outline to the athlete, here's how the relationship is going to work, here's how we're both protected, but also it's here, and this is the baseline if we have a problem later on down the line, because it's when you have a problem, not if. All right, so the two main contracts in phase one we want to have is going to be that services contract, and then also the release of liability. And I've done another episode about kind of the liability protection triangle, and I talk about your entity type, like LLC or corporation, your liability insurance, but then also in your contracts. And this phase one of services contract and release of liability form are the two of that one part of that legal triad that I'm referring to. We want to have all of these hurdles and measures in place to protect us. Because let's be real, we are running a fitness business. We are telling people how to move their body. These people have all different sorts of physical capabilities or restrictions or ailments, and you're responsible to a degree what happens to that athlete when they engage in the activity. And that's kind of where we all come together also with the release of liability form. And then also at FitLegally, we have these contracts for instant download, or you can take this information to a local attorney, but we also include in there an intake questionnaire, so you as the coach or the fitness trainer can understand the activity level of your athlete. What are their expectations? What are their the nuances? What is their physicality like, right? So you're able to help guide that. So phase one of what you need for your virtual fitness business is going to be the online or in-person services contract, and then also release of liability. If you do nothing else on this list, if you click away and don't listen to anything more, those are the two I want you to absolutely have. We have it easily as a starter bundle on the website, or guess what? Don't want to use me? That's okay. Go and take and copy and paste my description and take it to your local lawyer. Whatever is going to work for you. I just want you to get protected, because inevitably someone will get hurt, or there'll be miscommunication, a problem will come up, and we don't want to deal with it. We want to be focused on our business. Now, level two of phase two, I guess, if you will, of the documents we want to look at having is going to be our marketing, right? Almost every single one of us in a fitness business is going to have a website and social media presence. If you have a website, you're also probably going to be doing advertising using Google Analytics. So you've got the cookies and the pixels tracking there. You may have Facebook pixels, and you're probably also going to have a contact form and have your clients and potential clients submitting information on your website. So we want to make sure that we have website terms and privacy policy, governing the relationship between you and the visitors of the website, and especially those that are submitting personal information to you. Keep in mind, this is not a negotiable. Privacy policies are becoming almost required by many states, which is so funny because there are some services they're not required in any state to have certain kind of contracts, but because the governments, all of the governments here in the United States are cracking down. Actually, you even see it in Europe with the GDPR requirements, General Data Protection Regulation Act a couple years ago. We are seeing a real crackdown in consumer protection of consumers' personal information. So that includes these people simply coming onto your website. What the actions they're doing are being tracked by Google Analytics or Facebook pixels, Google Ad pixels, all of that. And the government is cracking down to say, hey, businesses, you need to start telling your people that this stuff is being tracked, how you're tracking it, how you're storing what you're doing. And you do that with your website terms and privacy policy. And many states are starting to require the privacy policy. Second major document I want you to have in this phase 2, which is the marketing phase, is having what's called a model release and permission to, or essentially permission to post the photo. Because what I'm seeing happens a lot, and I know this is mostly for virtual businesses, but it could happen too for in-person. You take a behind the scenes photo, or your client is sending you before and after pictures and you throw it up on your Instagram because you want to attract other athletes or clients to see the strength that they've gained, the weight that they've lost, how the PR that they've made. But the reality is every single one of your athletes, every single one of your clients has what's called a publicity right. And it's also going to vary by state, but it is a right that each person has to control the use of their likeness in marketing, which is what you would be doing. If you're sticking a before and after photo, behind the scenes photo, or anything like that onto social media or onto your website, into your newsletter, that's in furtherance of potential commercial gain. That is marketing. And so you need to have a model release, which is a very specific permission from the client to allow you to utilize their face in marketing. Now, and also if they're the ones that took the photos, you may need permission for the use of the photo because we have copywriting implications there as well. We have 2 more phases to quickly go through. The third one is it's going to be employer, which don't click away if you're someone that's thinking, well, I'm not an employer. At some point, especially running a virtual fitness business, you're going to run into that you're going to need help. And whether that's having a virtual assistant, if it's having an executive assistant, a social media manager, anything like that, you're going to be an employer at some point. And so just like with services between you and your client, you want to have a services contract that is between you and this employee or independent contractor that you have in your business. So we want to have that services document in place, but then we don't want to just stop there. A lot of people will they'll either just hire someone, they'll use no terms, which is not good. Everything is just willy-nilly at that point, or they'll ignore the next 3 things that I'm going to bring up. All right. If you're having someone come in, let's take, for example, you're going to have a virtual assistant. They may be helping to manage social media. They have contact with your contact list, your client's data, maybe your email list. You want to ensure that you're protecting all of that. So we want to have confidentiality information in there. We want to bind this virtual assistant or whoever you're hiring to not compete against you, to not solicit your existing clients and everything that you have. And also, if they're creating content for your business, you want to ensure that you own all the content, so intellectual property acknowledgement. So real quick on that, under employer, having a services document, confidentiality, non-solicit, non-compete, and then the intellectual property acknowledgement. So just keep that in mind. You may be not at that place yet, but start thinking that it is an investment when it's time to start hiring people to help you in your virtual fitness business. And phase 4, which is it's kind of more of an arbitrary phase. It's all that's going on right now with COVID. There are extra documents and things I think you guys need to keep in mind. We do have a very specific COVID page over at FitLegally. FitLegally.com/COVID. And on there, we have like a shutdown and reopening guide if you need to utilize that, depending on where you are, but also a very COVID specific release of liability waiver. This is clients understanding that we're in a pandemic. They are going to release you of liability. They understand what your safety measures are and your safety measures that you're taking, the protection measures, social distancing, all that kind of stuff. But it's also putting on them to be able to inform you if they've been in contact with a known person. We've seen this by now, right? We've seen a lot of this information, but we've boiled it all down into one legal document for you to have. I think it's incredibly important if you're doing in person. I know for online, this is probably not as important. Probably don't need it at all, but I just wanted to throw that out there. If you're someone that has maybe your primary virtual base and you do one-off in person, that is something to think about. All right, so that is pretty much it. That's a quick and dirty checklist of all the legal documents you need to have for an online virtual business. I am actually going to do a part 2 of this probably next week. I want to get into the legalities of marketing your fitness business online. So phase 2, where I talked about the website terms and privacy policy as well as model release, we'll dig down into that a bit more. Federal Trade Commission, consumer protection laws are on the uptick, and so I want all of you, especially in the fitness business, there is crackdown on us. Make sure that we're marketing properly so that we can be focused on our business and not having to deal with the government or any other issues. If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, my name is Rachel Brenke. I'm from FitLegally.com, the legal resource for fitness professionals. Good luck, guys, and stay well.